Now then, and welcome back to Rareeddie1 Talks podcast. I'm your host, Rareeddie1, and welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic time. Whatever time of day you're listening to, morning, evening, night, whatever time of day you're listening to, I hope you're having a brilliant and fantastic time. I'm having a great, wonderful, brilliant time. I'm here with you guys. I'm chatting. We're going to have a great time tonight. I've got some fun stuff to look in for us tonight on tonight's episode. We'll continue with the conspiracy and the whole everything strange, and we'll take a look at the shit show of pop culture at the minute. We are deep in the pop culture war. Which way is it going to fall? I have no idea, but let's have a look into it. We've got some fucking absolute belters to look into tonight. Tonight's going to be a fun episode. I hope it feels like you guys are having a conversation with me while we're listening to. If you are and you want to get in touch with the show, all my links, all the links to get in contact with me are in the show notes or in the description of the video. So please don't be shy. Get in contact with me. That would be awesome. I'm always up for a conversation, negative or positive. If you hate this podcast and you really want to tell me you hate it, then get in touch with me and let me see if I can change your mind, or let you see if you can change my mind. You probably won't, but you know, hey, that's life at the end of the day. On tonight's episode, like I said, we've got pop culture, we've got conspiracies, we've got everything strange. It's not October yet. I tell a lie, it's just turned October. But I'm not concentrating on anything scary, but the next 4 or 5 episodes, it's going to be fucking the Halloween month, so I'll get into some scary shit. If there's anything you want me to have a look at, scary wise, horror wise, let me know. Get in the emails, Facebook, Twitter, anything. Just let me know your thoughts, guys. But on tonight's episode, we will have a look at the Welsh Triangle. The Welsh Triangle. Holy shit! There's a documentary out on Netflix. I can't quite think what it's called. I think it's totally out of my head, but there is a Netflix show. I will put it in the show notes, and I will let you know what that is, because it was a pretty interesting docu-series on Netflix. And then after taking a trip to Wales, we'll have chat about the fucking late night talk shows are back and how woke these woke assholes are, and let's see if we can poke a bit of fun, because all the woke show hosts are fucking awful, pandering idiots. They useful idiots for the government, giving out the propaganda fucking messages for their party leaders and their party lines, and you know, they're so biased. And thankfully we're here in the UK and we don't have to put up with that shit. But are we just as bad? Yes, we fucking are. We are just as bad. But then we're gonna have a quick look. We may touch the tip. We may tickle the shaft of Antarctica, of all conspiracies around that continent of Antarctica, and let's get into some strange and weird fucked up shit with that. We'll have a look at it, and then I'm gonna do a recap, because season 11 of Futurama has finished, although I have heard elsewhere that it's a mid-season finale, but I've only heard that one in one place. Everywhere else I've heard it's the finale. But I'm going to give my season recap of it, and we'll get to that when we get to that. And finally, I'll continue my dirty, naughty, although it's not so dirty and it's not so naughty list of Watch Mojo's most top 10 most dirty conspiracies, which we're finding out that it's really not dirty and it's not rude, and there's no hint of a shaft. If Midnight Climax isn't in this list, something's fucking wrong. But anyway, I've got a drink tonight. I'm going to be drinking Brothers Cider, Raspberry Ripple English Cider. I hope it's a nice little tipple. Wherever you are in this world, whatever time of day you're listening to this, I hope you can join me with a drink. You know, whether it be a coffee, a hard drink, you know, a soft pop. I hope you can enjoy a drink with me, and so cheers. It's alright. It does taste like Raspberry Ripple. Not sponsored. It's alright. I could see myself getting fucked up on that, actually. It's better than alright. Anyway, tonight's episode 8. Let's get to it. Let's have a look. I will put myself, for the guys listening, for you guys listening, I also film these. Because there's people that really do want to look at my lovely mug, and I can't blame them. I've got to be honest, I can't blame them. I'm filming this, and my eyes go down to my picture, and I can't help it. I'm just a rather stunning human being. I'm taking a piss, obviously. I'm no oil painting. I've had a hard paper round. But anyway, let's get to tonight's episode. It's hopefully going to be a fucking good episode. I can feel it in the waters. I've got no haunted ventriloquist dolls, so hopefully I don't have... What? So before I get on tonight's topic, show, something really strange happened to me last week filming this, recording this show. So I was talking about the haunted ventriloquist doll, and something. I did have a drink in my hand, and it was a cold drink, but there was no condensation on the drink. And the way I was holding my drink, I have shorts on. I know I often tease you guys that I'm winning a poo in it, but I do have shorts on. Well, not tonight. I am winning and pooing it tonight, so I hope that titillates you guys. If not, I hope it gives you a little bit of a chuckle. But anyway, so just chatting along, we're talking about the haunted ventriloquist doll, and something really cold touched the bottom of my leg. So the can was nowhere near the part of the leg that got touched, and it was frozen. Now I had to laugh it off because I was filming, but I also didn't want to fucking creep myself out at the time. But I was thinking about it, and something strange did fucking happen that night, and I hope it doesn't happen again. Maybe I should hope it happens again, because that could be fucking good for you guys out there. But that was just weird, just very weird, and it may happen again. I hope it doesn't, but it may. So cheers, and cheers to whatever's out there. Anyway, enough rambling, enough about me and my crazy stories. I'll put me in a corner somewhere, and let's get to tonight's episode. We are at the BBC. This is the Welsh Triangle, although the BBC put Alien and UFO Bermuda Triangle explored in Netflix doc. Why not put the fucking Welsh Triangle? Hey? What fucking hard? It's not hard. I would play the trailer, but I do put these on YouTube, and every time I get a little thing on, I don't know what to call it, a copyright strike or a strike or something, nothing happens to the channel, because they say, I think it's for fair use policy, I think, because it is a trailer. But anyway, enough of that. So, this article was from 3 days ago by Allied Schofield and Peter Shuttlesworth. A flying saucer seen by a guest house. A flying saucer seen by a guest house. A 7-foot alien-like figure coming out of a hedge, and a cigar-shaped UFO near a schoolyard. So this all happened in the late 70s or in the 70s. These are just some of the 450 reported extraterrestrial encounters from one of the UK's largest mass sightings in a remote Welsh village. The village of Broadhaven has since been described as the Bermuda Triangle of mysterious craft sightings and sightings of strange beings. So they call this the Broadhaven Triangle. Watching the documentary on it was definitely interesting, and it is not the first encounter. It's not the first schoolyard encounter, because there's a school in Zimbabwe. I'll probably put that up. It's on the same documentary series, but I know that tale more because that's been more documented and more talked about. This one, I haven't heard of this one before. Maybe I have, and I've just put it to the back of my mind, but we do have here in the UK. We do have a triangle. We have a weird triangle, just like the Bermuda Triangle. We have the Welsh Triangle, Broadhaven Triangle. They could have maybe thought of a cooler name like fucking Phase Triangle or something. Never know where I got that name from. It just popped into my head. But let's continue. Residents who reported these encounters across a single year in the late 70s have now told their stories to the Netflix documentary series Encounters. That's the name of the show, Encounters, made by Steven Spielberg production company. So Steven Spielberg, who has been fascinated with this topic for over the years. Fantastic film, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Absolute one of my favourite to do with this topic. Alien films. Absolute brilliant, beautiful film. Actually, beautiful film. Not a great dad in it, if you ask me. He just fucks off and leaves the kid, but that's another topic. But it's an absolute beautiful story, well put together film, classic Spielberg film, classic, absolute classic, and it's fantastic. If you haven't seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, what are you doing? Get it watched, and let me know if you have watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind or you haven't. Yay or nay? Let me know in the comments, email, Twitter, Facebook, Messenger. Let me know, yay or nay. So I'll continue. It all happened back in 1977 when the Cold War was at its highest, and Star Wars and the Close Encounters of a Third Kind, Spielberg's first science fiction blockbuster, dominated the box office. So we have a little bit of pop culture in here, a little bit of pop culture. These films were high at the box office, and was this in people's psyche? Was this in people's minds all over the world? People had this in their mind, in the back of their mind, and this is where we get the story from? I don't think so, because there was a lot of children that witnessed this encounter, or one of the encounters anyway. there was a heightened awareness of things from out of this world and the West Wales village made international headlines when 16 school children claimed to witness a UFO in the Pembrokeshire sky. What is the Broadhaven Triangle? The spaceship looked like a cigar shaped with a dome on it with a yellowy, orangey to red light on top of it. One child told the BBC cameras at the time. Another child, so that's what one kid told the BBC, that it had a dome with yellow and orangey red light on top of it. Another child said he didn't just see a UFO, adding, "I saw a man, but I couldn't see its face because it was too far away." Now, more than 45 years later, those 10-year-olds who reported the strange sightings during a lunchtime at the Broadhaven Primary School still insist this was no childish hoax. David Davis, 56, said he was initially skeptical when his school friends rushed back into the class from the playground claiming to have seen a spaceship. I totally regarded the story as being nonsense. As to me, flying saucers didn't exist, he said. They were in bad 1950s sci-fi movies or in tabloid newspapers. Expecting to dismiss the fuss as just kids telling tales, he went outside to see for himself and still remains stunned as to what he said he witnessed. Poor lad. I think this is the kid that got bullied quite badly, which is fucking awful. But the 70s is a whole different fucking time. I'm just glad I wasn't going to school during the 70s. Fucking hell. Oh dear. That's that is definitely for another topic. So I'll continue. From behind some trees, this thing popped up in front of me, he said. It was silver, cigar shaped and about 40 foot long. And there was just this thought that came into my mind that I had to run away. Mothers can tell when you're lying, and mine was absolutely convinced what I was saying was the truth. So it's basically saying there his mum knew he wasn't lying, or his mum believed him. Because I imagine she isn't around any longer, because it's how many years? 45? Or 40 years? I think it's 40 years. So the pupils were asked to draw and write an account of what they saw on their return to school by school headmaster Ralph. I would butcher your last name, I do apologise. But let's read it aloud and everyone can hear his last name.
Llewellyn.
Who separated the children to ensure there was no copying. Now, I believe that the children wasn't told they were going to be doing this, but they all draw very similar shapes, very similar, and the stories are very similar. They do look wildly different here. I take that back now. They look very, very similar. A couple of details, but they all look very similar. Like a dome on top of a dome. Classic saucer Classic saucer. The alien looks sort of similar, but they're all very similar looking drawings. Anyway, let's continue. It's not like today. There was no social media or mobile phones, so there was no opportunity to have it collaborated, David said. Mr. Llewellyn, sorry, I fucking butchered that name. So the headmaster later told the BBC Children's Current Affairs show, So the headmaster later told the BBC Children's Current Affairs show, John Craven's Newsround. Here in the UK, who didn't watch Newsround? I know I watched Newsround when I was little. That all the descriptions were similar. 16 descriptions, all very similar. And fair enough, if this was like straight after the account, then, because if this was a hoax, if this was indeed a hoax, to do this straight after, then fair enough. But leaving it a day, or was it a day? So I believe it was a day. So the children to still have similar stories is wild, and so in that outcome, then it's quite hard to believe this is some sort of hoax. I believe these kids saw something. Where were the other UFO sightings? So we're going to hear where some of the other UFO sightings are, or UAPs. The Schofield spaceship sightings was just the first of what another former pupil called some pretty strange goings on. As the media descended on the small village, other locals also reported close encounters with strange crafts and creatures. Oof. Yeah, there's a little newspaper clipping of the kids with their UFO drawings. Some of them I can see, some of them I can't see. But they all look very, very similar. I don't think I'll be able to read. It's not the greatest pictures. A few months after the schoolyard sightings, hotel owner Rose Granville, who lived a few hundred yards down the coast, reported seeing a spacecraft just as she was going to bed. She looked through the window and saw this thing sort of hovering. Her daughter's
Francine.
She looked through the window and saw this thing sort of hovering. Her daughter Francine recalled 2 encounters. These 2 figures came out of it. They looked a little unsteady. Rose said. Rose reported having very long arms and legs with no facial features. The Granvilles said the spaceship had left a scorched mark and a ridge on the ground where it had landed. X-Files from the government. This article doesn't really make sense to me. Hopefully you guys can make some sort of sense out of this article. It's from the BBC, so yeah, my fucking hour fucking money is paying for this shit. It's like I've written this fucking shit. I'm not the sharpest tool in the box where you put your tools in. I'm like safety scissors. You know, you go to open that box of where you put your tools in, and you pull out the safety. Who the fucking dickhead has put these safety scissors? That's me. I'm the safety scissors. I'm soft and round. X-Files from the government later showed Rose had written to her local MP. Haven Fort Hotel headed note paper explaining that the event left me greatly agitated and disturbed, and not the least bit desirous of another encounter. Sorry, my tongue and mouth does not like that word. A month or two later, and a few miles around the Malos Peninsula. Let's see if I am saying that right.
Marlowe's Peninsula.
Yep. Mark Morstan claimed he saw not only a spaceship while walking alone, but also he said he came face to face with a figure. Now, this is actually a bit of a scary encounter this fella had. Absolutely. If I was by myself, I would have maybe got a bit creeped out about it, but I was with a friend watching it, and it was definitely unsettling encounter this guy had, Mark. Claiming he saw an upside down saucer in a glow on the ridge near his house. He then described hearing rustles in the hedge further down the road. This thing stepped out of the hedge, said Mark. It was a good 7 foot tall. It had a silver suit on, with a motorbike visor as a face. Now that sounds scary. So the way he describes it is, it's chilling. It is chilling. So hopefully the BBC has put the way he described it in the documentary as how he described it. Hopefully the BBC, you're not as shit as I think you are. I thought that's not a man. So I'm continuing. I thought that's not a man. No way that's a man. It started walking towards me and I thought, this is not happening. I was quite scared. I kept walking, so I legged it. Run. The next day, Mark returned. So, no, but not fucking. So, let me see if I can try and remember how he described it on the documentary. So, he said he saw this 7 foot tall alien being come out of a hedge, and they were both looking at one another, and Mark was sort of walking backwards because he was like, I'm not having none of this. And that was when the alien started to walking towards him, and at that point he was like, no way. And he legged it. He run, and he said he got to like a cross. It was a T junction in the path, and he turned round and it was sort of getting closer to him, so he really run home really fast, and he got to a point in the path where he said he thought he needed to turn around and have a look, and he did, and the alien was sort of stood in this little spot, and but it was sort of stopped, so he just looked back and just fucking ran, and probably like with a couple piles of shit behind him, he ran like fuck. The next day, so I'm going to continue the article. The next day, Mark returned to the scene with his dad, where he said they had found a huge footprint in the mud, too big to be an ordinary man. So maybe Bigfoot. UK, I think we have something similar to Bigfoot. I think it's called UK Wild Man. That I've heard. That's something I will look into. UK Wild Man. That actually is pretty fucking good. It does actually taste like raspberry ripple. Mark's uncle and aunt later told TV reporter they saw an 8 foot tall, 2.4 metre, featureless silver figure outside their isolated farmhouse. So the farmhouse is pretty by itself. The police were called to that incident, and the officer who took the call from the family later stated, "In all my 26 years of service, that's the most frightened family I've come across." Fucking hell. So 26 years of service, and that's the most frightened he's heard a family. That's definitely something to take note of. Why are Spielberg's producers doing a Welsh UFO doc? Well, no, they're not doing. They're doing a documentary series. It's not just one story. They're concentrating on other stories. It wasn't so much the Welsh Roswell, but the multiple sightings of flying saucers did give the area nickname as Broadhaven Triangle. Producers scoured Europe for stories that was out of this world, but chose the incredible Welsh story because it is a fantastic story. Chose the incredible Welsh story because it wasn't just one encounter. There were hundreds and hundreds of people that said they had witnessed something, said the encounter's director, Jon Moskin, who was approached by Spielberg's production house, Amblin Television. That critical mass with 450 people is huge and also entertaining, they had said. Critics have suggested that unexplained aircraft were planes heading to the former nearby Royal Air Force Base at Broadie. But those who say they have seen UFOs insist they saw were not jets. How does a UFO encounter affect you? Jon points out that many of those who spoke publicly in 1977 about having close encounters didn't benefit from telling their story. Well, no, they didn't. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. They were ridiculed, they were bullied, they were physically assaulted. So they didn't have a good time. They didn't monetize from this. They didn't have a great time whatsoever. In fact, it impacted some negatively, including David Davis. What I didn't enjoy was the attention it brought to me, David said. My first 4 years of secondary school, high school to the Americans out there, or other places, secondary school was horrendous. I was getting physically assaulted on a almost daily basis. Most of the time, they wanted me to say he hadn't seen a UFO and that I was lying, but I couldn't go back on my principles and say I was just lying when I wasn't. So, props to David Davis. Thank you for continuing to telling your story. I'm being genuine when I say that. I do thank you for telling your story. And one day, I hope on this podcast, one day I could maybe interview David Davis. I'm not there yet. I'm fucking no way near that sort of level yet. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. I think that is the article. No, I still have a little bit left. I would love to interview him or have a conversation with him at least. The Out of This World story eventually attracted interest from Amblin, Spielberg's production house. The film house, renowned for making science fiction smash hits like E.T., Back to the Future, War of the Worlds, Men in Black, and Jurassic Park, and is part of the new 4-part series. it's definitely a fucking strange story. And Spielberg, I do love his alien films. I do, really do. But thank you, David Davis. Keep telling your story. Keep getting it out there. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're doing this subject. You're doing the UFO community or the UFO fellowship a huge service. So thank you. But that's the Welsh Triangle, the Broadhaven Triangle. What are your thoughts on these stories, in particularly the children at the school that witnessed 16 of these children that witnessed this spacecraft? What are your thoughts on this topic? I would love to hear your thoughts. But I'm going to close that one down. I may do a deep dive into that one. But that's my thoughts on it. I believe these kids. I believe they've seen something out of the world. I believe the hotel owners have seen something out of the world. Another thing, what wasn't mentioned in that article, that the hotel owners and the guy who run from the alien had a visit from the Men in Black. I know it wasn't the guy who was running from the alien. It is his uncle and aunt that got the visit from the Men in Black. Supposedly at the same time, one and another had a visit from the Men in Black. Same time, same day, same people. Very fucking strange. I know that was left out, and that was left out for some reason. I don't know why. I will probably do a dedicated video on my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go subscribe. That'd be huge. Thank you if you do. Again, so the more I do of these, so this is just a little blurb. The more I do of these, the more I will get better. I know it's still rough. I see little improvements in myself, and so, but I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun. I'm still loving doing this. Absolute love doing this. And as a hobby, I fucking love it. But podcast wise, if you guys would like to get involved, if you want to message me and saying that you would love to guest on or be a co-host, let me know. I would be happy to have a chat and see what we can do. I'd love to have a guest on. I would love to have a co-host. So please let me know if you would like to give this a go. I would love that. You don't have to be here in person. There's other ways of doing it. There's like Teams or Zoom we could do. But let me know if you're interested, or if you would love to have guests on. You don't have to be on camera, nothing like that. But I would love to have a guest on. If any of my friends out there are listening that would love to give this a go, please let me know. In person, or message me, or Teams me, or Twitter me. Just message me. I'll try and definitely love to get any of my friends on. That'd be awesome. Shout out to Baz. I would love to get Baz on. Anyway, let's continue with these fucking woke idiots, these absolute fucking woke assholes. Late night talk show hosts announce return to air following deal to end the Hollywood writers' strike. Fucking another bunch of cunts. What are your thoughts on these fucking idiots? I'm sorry, you guys, that the late night show talk shows are coming back. I do apologise. The major late night talk show host, sorry, I can't fucking say it without laughing. The major late night talk shows hosts have collectively announced their return to the small screen following Sunday's tentative deal to end the Hollywood writers' strike. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, which out of any of them, I would probably watch Jimmy Fallon. I'm not saying, that's not taking the fact that he's still a fucking useful idiot for the government. But out of them all, he was probably the one I would probably watch. Luckily, I'm not in America, so I don't have to watch this shit. The Late Night with Seth Meyers. I have no idea who he is. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He is a absolute fucking cook. He's a fucking... Yeah, he's just probably one of the worst fucking human beings out there. And Jimmy Unfunny Kimmel Live are all set to return on Monday, 2nd of October. So, not fucking, yeah, Monday. The shows are fucking hard. I was a bit fucking soft in the head there. The shows announced their respective social medias on their respective social medias. Fucking adverts, get out of here, you cunts. Last week, Tonight, with John Oliver, fucking another cunt there, will return on HBO on Sunday, tomorrow, fuck's sake. So, the Strike Force 5 podcast announced in a tweet during the strike, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, and John Oliver formed Strike Force 5 to raise funds for their shows out of work employees. So, if you want to know how unfunny these guys are, just maybe listen to the podcast for a little bit and you will understand why these guys need 10 to 20 writers to help them be sort of funny, and they have 10 to 20 writers and they're still unfunny. They're still fucking unfunny. Real Time with Bill Maher is set to return this Friday. Host Bill Maher said in a tweet, I think he's back, yeah. I think Maher is back, which out of them now, I do watch clips of Bill Maher, and I think he's a little bit based now and again, but sometimes he's not. He's a cunt again. The agreements between Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, the group that represents all major Hollywood studios, was announced after several marathon bargaining sessions this week in Los Angeles. The Hollywood writers' strike began on May the 2nd, on 2nd of May, and was the first such action since 2007. The rag lasting roughly 4.5 months. So we've had 4.5 months of pure bliss. Well, I'd say bliss. It's still been fucking... There's still been woke idiots out there, but at least they haven't been fucking dickheads shouting their fucking their woke agenda, their politically agendaed, fucking driven, their intersectional, modern day fucking, fucking shit down our throats. Current day, as heel versus babyface did a passionate rant on the games Starfield, and you could take his passionate rant and apply it to all these fucking things at the minute, and it'd still be affected for the writers, because they're fucking just boring. They're fucking current day, they're fucking politically fucking correct, they're not correct, they're just fucking woke idiot, the woke assholes, and all of them are probably cooks. Cook are people that like watching their wives get fucked by other men. the writer's strike, you could have done us a favour and kept on strike. The actors are still on strike, but let's face it, they'll be back very, very soon. The actors only really went on strike because no one really was paying the writers any fucking attention. Any attention. Because if you can turn on any TV show at the minute, on any streaming, there's only been a handful that have actually been good. But the most TV shows, most films have absolutely been fucking dog shit. And if you're like, oh, well, do you have proof of this? Well, yeah, Secret Invasion. Secret in fucking Invasion. And there's a new show what's just come out in Canada. It's nothing to do with the strikes. But a new show in Canada called Robin. Robin is basically they're retelling the Robin Hood story. But it's been gender swapped. It's been race swapped. It's in the city. Sherwood Forest is a hood in the city, and it's just so politically fucking driven. It's out there to divide us all because white men are bad, cops are bad, and everything else is good. Fucking bunch of cunts, absolute bunch of fucking cunts. So I covered this the other month, but late night TV shows are declining, rapidly declining. We are Axos, and this is why late night TV shows are declining. Why it matters: the rapid decline in both viewers and ad revenue is forcing networks to turn to cheaper alternatives, threatening the future of the 70-year-old genre. Driving the news, CBS aired the final episode of The Late Late Show with fucking James Corden. Is another fucking dickhead. I can't stand James Corden. Can never stand James Corden. I fucking don't know why he is big as he is. No idea. And that's not a pun because he's a fat cunt. But no idea why he's big as he is. He's so unfunny. Apparently, he's an absolute arsehole in real life. Absolute arsehole. Yes, we all could be arseholes. I could be a fucking dickhead. But this is a guy who has the privilege of being where he is. And he's a fucking arsehole. Absolute fucking arsehole. But I hope it doesn't come back to the UK. Please stay over there in America. I do apologise, America. But you can't really say out. We had Madonna for fucking many years. At least she's gone fucking back to you guys. But we have your dickheads and you have our dickheads. We're fucking swapping. The big picture, late night TV is expensive, with the top hosts like Colbert and Jimmy Fallon making north of 15 million a year. 15 million. Really? These guys, 15 million a year? They have, again, these guys are so unfunny. They have 10 to 20 people writing for them. 10 to 20 people writing for them. They're just so unfunny. Colbert is, oh my God, he's the worst. He was pushing the vaccine like fucking crazy. They all were pushing the vaccine and COVID like crazy. They would all fucking, they have been documented to be laughing at people who complained about the vaccine, who didn't believe in the vaccine, who then passed away. And these guys were laughing at them. And they were laughing at people that didn't want the vaccine, and they had a loved one, pass. These guys were saying, well, you weren't human to them. You wasn't human to these guys. You were just below human. And that's just how not human these people are. These people are not human. They're fucking just giant fucking cunts. I do apologise. I have said that word a few times. I will try and take that word out. But yeah, these idiots make a huge amount of money. I imagine the writers make a huge amount of money. And then you got all the lighting crews, you got the stage crews, you got all everything that goes into these shows, and people, myself included, over the weekend, over the week, I just stick on YouTube. There's people on YouTube that I love watching, that I follow, that I've met, and I hardly ever stick on TV anymore. The end of the Hollywood actor, or should I say, Hollywood actor, is coming to the end. It's coming to the end of its life. Hollywood actors aren't important anymore. Well, okay, they are important at the minute, but I couldn't give a fuck about a Hollywood actor. Really couldn't. Now, people used to care about Hollywood actors. That's why the Oscars and these award shows were so huge, because that was the only time you could maybe have a little glimpse into one of your favourite actors' life. The only time. But now with social media and not the likes of that, you can't shut these fuckers up, and they're so stupid. So fucking stupid. I'm not bright, but these guys are so fucking stupid. You got the likes of toe-faced Ron Perlman fucking spouting off his angry shit. You got that fucking dickhead from, what's his fucking name? I can't even think of his name, but he's the one who keeps going on. He's a New Yorker, and is keeps bashing Trump. I can't fucking think of his name. I know El Presidente fucking sort of had a thing with him. I can't think of his name, but he's such a fucking arsehole. Absolute fucking arsehole. And the Hollywood star, the Hollywood actor, you know, their shadow is dying. It's fading. And now YouTube is a thing what I like to think of as your personal stars, your personal heroes, your personal star. I am working on a video for this. Your personal stars, because you follow someone on YouTube, they're like your personal star. You care about them. You care about them. They care about you. And there's, in some instances, you can actually meet these your personal stars and shake their hands and have a conversation with them. And the rise of the personal star is happening. Comedians are realizing this, and a lot of comedians have podcasts now. A lot of them this hasn't just happened because Joe Rogan's been out there for fucking years. I'm not a regular of his show, but I do enjoy his show. Maybe the clips I enjoy more than maybe the long form, but I prefer podcasts because it's like you're having a conversation with your friends. That's why I like a podcast. But these stars, and especially these Tonight Show hosts, their shadow is fading, and they could soon all be out of a job, and they all might have to go to Strike Force 5 again and not get many listeners. So that's my thought. That's my little rant. That's my little thought on the Hollywood, not Hollywood, but the actors. That's my thoughts on the late night talk show hosts. I'm sorry, America, that you're gonna have to start. You've got to be seeing much more of these guys. I do apologise. I hope. So now we are going to tickle the tip, maybe tickle the shaft, maybe slide down the shaft, maybe. But we are at cool Antarctica. So hidden Antarctic secrets, all revealed, what they don't want you to know. So extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Carl Sagan, oh, what a great guy he was. The weight of the evidence for an extraordinary claim must be proportioned to its strangeness. Pere Simon Laplace. Sorry if I probably fucking butchered your name. R.I.P. as well. Antarctic is a long way away from where you live. Wherever you live, not many people have been there. It's difficult and expensive to get there. It seems like some sci-fi ice planet place and really exciting. It isn't secret though, just not well known. What goes on there is largely uninteresting to most people and mainly very technical, complicated scientific stuff that just is not easily to understand. All of this contributes to numerous conspiracy theories about UFOs, aliens, Nazi bases, and other forms of woohoo. With the advent of the internet, and especially of across a satellite images on Google Earth, there are plenty of purveyors of snake oil ready to interpret icebergs and other ice patterns and structures for the benefit of the gullible. They are never just natural formations, but clearly alien or at least secret facilities. So I think you're a bit of a cunt for writing that. Gullible. Are you the gullible one for thinking that it's just a nice fucking, I was going to say planet, but a nice fucking continent. So, key. So a little picture here, and it goes all the way to 11. So the key. So number 1, the forbidden sector. No one knows what happens here. No one who has been has ever come back. If you try to take a peek at the border, you are grabbed by security penguins and taken in. Okay. 2. So where's 2? That's it. The hole at the pole. This connects with the hole at the other pole and the hollow earth and those who live there. Number 3, the wall around the hole. The wall around the hole at the pole. This stops people from the almost South Pole station from falling in the hole. Immigrants. 5, USO. 4, the almost South Pole station. The almost South Pole station, because there's a big hole where the actual pole should be. Obviously, you can't build a research station there, so instead it's nearby. This means it's easy to keep an eye on all the UFOs and other alien technology that comes out of that hole. So I'm not going to continue reading that because it's a bit of fucking piss take. So this site is basically trying to fucking debunk all the Antarctica conspiracies out there, because there is a lot out there. Some are definitely interesting. Some are really silly. But the one I want to mainly touch on is the Hollow Earth. And this is where the Hollow Earth theory comes from, or doesn't come from, but this is the Hollow Earth entrance. Admiral Byrd, who flew over Antarctica, said he'd seen the hole. He had flown into the hole. He had found a fantastical land in the hole. Whether you believe it or not is, it's another matter. But this site looks like it's just basically taking a piss out of people. It's trying to debunk. It's trying to, it's. Let me read one of them. So I'm going to read one of them. Not a monstrous skeleton. A good example of the I don't know what it is, and my opinion is as good as anyone else's, so I can make up what I want instead of making any effort to find out. School of thought. You can see this on Google Maps Street View here. It is a skeleton of either a crab eater or a weddelled seal that died and dried out over a long time period. There are a number of these skeletons in the area known as the Dry Valleys in Antarctica. There are surprisingly in that they are surprising in that they are up to 40 miles from the sea and at up to 5,000 feet altitude in the mountains. Carbon dating shows that they are often hundreds of years old, the oldest found being 2,600 years old. The environment is extremely cold with strong drying winds, so they are quickly freeze dried after death, and the lack of disturbance by carrion feeders gives the impression that the carcasses is quite recent rather than ancient. They are remains of seals, probably juveniles, that look all wrong. Juveniles that took a wrong turn to the sea, possibly mistaking the light glint of a distant glacier for the sea, and heading that way until exhaustion, cold, and starvation brought about their demise. The harsh environment both preserves and then slowly erodes them. The skeleton in the middle picture could have been where it is, in exactly the place the seal died since the 1700s or earlier. It's not a skeleton of a giant monster. It's just a very old skeleton of an unfortunate, inexperienced seal. So this website is a classic, making fun of people while trying to debunk them. Which some people like this sort of site. It's not a site for me, unfortunately. So that tip, tickling that tip has made me all soft. So I won't be able to get to the shaft for you guys. I will look up a better article. This made me disappointed reading it, but I thought I would keep it up and just go over it, because there's probably better articles out there that actually, this is what us conspiracy theories and theorists because if you're listening to this podcast, I guess you're interested in conspiracies, quite, or possibly interested in conspiracies. And this is what we all get. They all make fun out of us. Yeah, there's some conspiracies out there that are fucked up. Flat Earth, fucked up. But there's some conspiracies out there that really, really, and the people out there still fucking take the piss out of you, make fun of you, fucking bully you. And there's still people out there. And this site reeks of it. It sounds like, reading it feels like they're trying to make fun of the people who are putting these theories together and debunking them rather than just debunking them. And it's just not no good faith about it. And this is why I do not like this site, and I'll probably never go back to cool Antarctica. So yeah, well done you guys with debunking things, and then there's just really being a knobhead about it. Some of the conspiracies of Antarctica are absolutely fucking crazy nuts, but there's some out there that could quite possibly exist, like the pyramids on Antarctica. The crashed UFOs. But there is some, I do agree, there is some that, that just are silly. But when you attack them like this, it's not doing you any good, and it's not doing them any good either. So do better. Please do better. So that's it. That's my tickle of the tip. What made it all soft, and no naughty horniness out of that. I do apologise, but I wanted to keep that up as an example of what those guys could do, possibly go through. Conspiracy guys, anyway. I am IMDb because I have reviewed every episode of Futurama season 11. This show is mid at best. There's only a handful of episodes that I enjoyed. See, episode 1, The Impossible Stream. It was okay. This show was just this season was just very disappointing, really disappointing, and mid at best it's not good. It's not good. Futurama. So I keep banging on about this, but the creators, the studio, the production company brought Futurama back for one thing and one thing only. They needed TV shows for their failing streaming services. They needed content for their failing streaming services. They didn't bring this show back for the fans. They brought it back because it has a built-in fan base, but they didn't bring it back for the fans. They brought it because it had a built-in fan base. I've repeated myself, but I really wanted to get that in there. And let's face it, it's easy content for them to make. It's not a Walking Dead show. It's not a fucking Orville show. It's just a easy 20 to 30 minutes television show. And I imagine it didn't take them long to whack this fucker out. Well, I know it didn't take them long to whack this fucker out because it mid at best. In a couple of episodes, one episode in particular, the final episode, it felt like I was in deja vu. I was in deja vu land. Not like that topic had been, so what was this, the simulation theory. That topic has been touched by many other shows. Rick and Morty did an absolute banger of a show, their simulation theory. I think South Park touched one, but this felt like it was a deja vu of its own show. They were sort of copying from older episodes, but they weren't copying very good. They were just copying, and it just felt. I enjoyed it because of the topic, I'm guessing, more than anything. They keep pushing that frying leader thing, a couple. I get that. If you'd, I like seeing them together. I do. Don't get me wrong, I do. But if you'd like me overall, I would prefer still them being a will they, won't they. I prefer that story, that arc, more than what but I do enjoy seeing them together. But if you ask me, I would prefer it the other way. But they've gone down this way, and that's fair enough. In the last episode, it felt like they maybe found a formula again for Futurama, but it needed a couple of tweaks or a couple of ingredients in there, because it's still, it really wasn't good. It was good. I would probably watch that episode again, but there's been some banger episodes of Futurama, some really outstanding episodes, but this season nothing outstanding at all. Children of a Lesser Bog, I sort of enjoyed this episode. It was an okay episode. See, the episodes that get panned by this rating here, I actually enjoyed, because I really enjoyed how the West was 101001. I actually enjoyed this episode. Really enjoyed this. There's only one part of this episode I didn't enjoy, and that was Bender's song. Other than that, I fucking loved this episode. Parasites Regained felt okay. Wasn't a bad episode. Couple of funny things in it. Would I go back and watch it again? Yes, I probably would go back and watch that. So, out of the 4 episodes, I would probably go back and watch 2 of them. Then we get to episode 5, related to fucking adverts, related to items you viewed. Again, I didn't mind this episode. Would I go back and watch it again? No, I wouldn't. Seeing Mom again, it's good seeing Mom. I Know What You Did Last Xmas. It was okay. Again, very mid. Would I go back and watch it again? So as a Christmas episode, I love watching these sort of TV shows at Christmas. So like Futurama, Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons. I like watching the Christmas episodes during Christmas. Will I put this one on? No, I won't, because it was awful. Absolute awful. Rage Against the Vaccine. I didn't mind this one. I actually liked this one. And this one, people hated this one. The reason why I like this one, I'm not saying it was a great show, but the reason why I like this one, because they were taking piss at the left and the right. And generally, with these TV shows and films, they take the piss out of one side only, and that's it. But they took the piss out both sides, which was good. And that's why I enjoyed that episode. And I probably would go back and watch that one again. Also, same again with Zap Gets Cancelled. I actually enjoyed this episode, and I would actually go back and watch this one again. Because again, they seem to be taking the piss out of both sides. 9, I hated this episode. I didn't like it. The way it was told, I could see what they were doing with it, but it just didn't hit, and it didn't hit for the actual which at this point. So when I was watching episode 8, when I was watching episode 8, I was feeling like I was the outcast, because there's a lot of episodes I didn't like. 4 of the 8 I didn't like. I would say maybe 5 of the 8 I didn't like. But I felt, because I was watching other people review this show and talk about the show and hearing on the podcast and YouTube, and I just felt like the odd one out. But when we get to see episode 9, I finally people are starting to agree with me. A couple of things that I maybe liked in it, but that was it. And this episode all the way down, the simulation theory, I would go back and watch this one again. But as a finale, we've done better finales. It really, really wasn't good. It felt lazy. It felt rushed. It felt lacking of story. Lacking development of characters. Seeing Fry and Leela, you barely saw Fry and Leela together as a couple. I barely saw any of Bender, and I'm not saying he was hardly in the show, because he wasn't, but it felt like I hardly saw any Bender I know and love. And there's going back and copying shows to try and copy, and they feel copied. But I know Futurama, I know these guys, and I know they have got good episodes in them. I know they can deliver a fantastic season. And I do have faith for season 12. Now, I did question, is Futurama having the same problem as what Star Wars is having? I say that because people are happy with the state of Star Wars. The shows, I haven't watched many Star Wars. I watched Mandalorian season 1 and 2. And I watched Solo. No, not Solo. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I fucking hated that show. I hated it. Now, I hear a lot of people complaining about Star Wars, but I hear a lot of people loving Star Wars. And the people hating on Star Wars are not hating on just because they hate it. They have genuine problems with Star Wars. And one of the problems, what I hear constantly, is that the people liking Star Wars are liking it just because it's Star Wars, just because it's got Star Wars on it, you know. And are we having the same problem as Futurama fans? We're getting Futurama, so yay, we're getting Futurama, even though it's shit, but yay, we're still getting Futurama. Are we having that similar problem? It's a question to you guys. You may not like Futurama, what the fuck are you on about, Rareeddie1? What the fuck are you on about? And I hope not. Let me know if you've seen Futurama season 11. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts if you want to watch it. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So here we are. Hopefully, I've just had a quick look at the title, and I don't think this is going to be fucking naughty or rude. But here's my top 10 of dirty, not my top 10, but here is a top 10 of dirty / naughty, rude conspiracies. What turn out that aren't that rude or naughty. Oh well. I would love them to be filthy fucking naughty, but you know, let's have a read. This one may surprise me. So number 6, Watch Mojo. I love Watch Mojo. I said this last week. I love Watch Mojo, mainly for one reason, and that was Rebecca Bryant. She's fucking beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Got a hell of a voice on her. So yeah, and I sort of read these, and I sort of in my head it's her voice. So anyway, let's get to number 6. Area 51 is a decoy. Fucking hell, it's not dirty. For fuck's sake. For over half a century, conspiracy theories around the world have been obsessed with Area 51. Now, I have been to Area 51. Well, not the base itself, but, Rachel, the town near Area 51 and the gate. Area 51, a Nevada Air Force base, often associated with UFOs and extraterrestrials. Conspiracies. It wasn't even publicly acknowledged until 2013, but one Reddit theory suggests that Area 51 is only a decoy for the real location where the US conducts alien experiments. The theory goes that even if Area 51 has conducted experiments on UFO technology in the past, it makes a lot of sense to keep the public attention focused anywhere but where the real work is being done currently. A magician can tell you that misdirection is a powerful tool. So, yes, it wasn't dirty. Yes, it wasn't rude, and I apologise. I will continue to do this list. I may stop calling it dirty/naughty, and I may find another list that has dirty and naughty, titillating articles in. We have touched a tip tonight. We have tickled a tip. It wasn't the greatest tip. I know that, and I'd lacked on that tip, and I do apologise. But what are your thoughts on Area 51? So now I have been to the outskirts. Absolute beautiful desert. Absolute beautiful desert. Really impressive desert. Rachel is a very little town. I think it's classed as a city, but it's beautiful. It is a beautiful place. Some really nice landmarks to visit there. But Area 51, could it still be a thing? Could they still be testing aliens or UFO equipment? Now, Bob Lazar has come. Bob Lazar is huge, but I remember him saying that he used to take his friends to a location because the base has expanded. But when he took his friends, it wasn't. It was just outside the base in like a mountain range where they could witness the flying tests. I think that area's been taken over by the base now, but that definitely interesting. And he on Joe Rogan podcast said they've got many, I can't quite remember the number, but they have many crashed or acquired alien ships, from excavation to crashed to, I guess, landed UFOs. Does that mean they have dead alien spacemen? Yeah. I would love to know more about the excavated alien ship. Really would love to know more about the excavated alien ship. But I would definitely go into Area 51 more. I'm aware on my time. I'm starting to get. It's starting to get up there. I do apologise. This list isn't dirty and naughty in one bit. I think the first topic I had, it had dirty the name, because when I was looking this list up because I thought this might actually be a fun. My thoughts were, I'm going to look for dirty, naughty conspiracies. Just have a little bit of fun at the end of these podcasts. and my search term was dirty conspiracies, and the first conspiracy had dirty in it, and so yeah, Google did its job. I didn't do my job, so I do apologise, and I will do a better job. So I may have another list. I will keep this list up because it's quite interesting. Quite little, little blurb there. Yeah, it's definitely fun to maybe speculate and have a little chat about these little conspiracies. But yeah, so that's my dirty / naughty conspiracy list. That's not dirty or naughty. I do apologise, but I'm gonna put me big Rareeddie1. I'm gonna put me full screen. You guys listening, you're probably, what are you on about, you absolute fucking numpty? But that's my episode tonight. That's episode 8 tonight. Hope you had a drink with me. Hope you've been able to have a drink with me. Pop, coffee, water, alcoholic beverage, a nice cider. What ciders or what alcoholic beverage do you like to drink? Is there any out there that you think that I haven't tried, that you think Rareeddie1, maybe try this is awesome, this is a game changer? Drinking, I'm not the biggest drinker. I do like a drink, but I am not the biggest drinker. My second one. And it's at the end of the show. It's quite delicious, though, to be fair. It's delicious. Anyway, so that's been my episode tonight. That's been episode 8. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode. Hope I've entertained you or made you laugh a little bit. I would love to make you laugh all throughout episode and make you interested in all episode. Again, I'm very new to this. I see slight improvements in myself, and that's good. But I am loving doing this. I love doing this. I love editing. I love everything about this. Talking to you guys, editing these, trying to have a laugh with you guys. Again, I would love a co-host. So if that's something you maybe think you're interested in, even if you just want a guest, please get in contact with me. I would definitely consider it and have a look. And I would love a guest on, and it doesn't have to be in person. So please get in touch with me. I would love co-host. Again, you don't have to be in person. You don't even have to be on camera. I would prefer it wouldn't be in person, because then I would have to stop winning the pooing. Because I'm winning the pooing. If I stood up now, you would see dick and balls. You'd see dick and balls if I stood up. I'm not. I've got shorts on, but that's something else. But I hope, if you think you could add to the show, please do. Please come on. If you think you would love to guest or co-host, please do. I would love that. I really would love that. Because I think, as much as I love doing these solo, I really do love doing these solo, and I will continue to do these solo. But having a guest or a co-host, you can go back and forth. You can bit of banter. You can, if I'm saying something and it's completely fucking bullshit, they could call me out, and that would be great. I would love that. Again, if I've said anything tonight and you think it's bullshit, please let me know. I'm open to have a chat and have a discussion with you guys. If you think I've just talked about some bollocks and you think I'm being harsh on the writer's strike, which I don't think I'm being harsh on the writer's strike. I think they're absolute fucking horrible cunts. But that's if you think you could maybe add to the conversation, please let me know. I'm going to get out your hair and let you listen to something else. Ideally, I would love for you to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. But no, you don't have to do that. I would love it, but you don't have to do that. But my YouTube channel and Rumble channel is Rareeddie1. Please go check it out. Please go check it out. I do conspiracies. Do a lot more pop culture on that on my YouTube and Rumble channel. A lot more pop culture on that. I would love to do. Timing my time. I would love to do more of this. I really, really would. But just finding the time. I've got to do better because there is time out there. I can find time and do a lot more of this, and especially for my YouTube channel. But I would love for you to check out my YouTube/Rumble channel. I really would love that. And if you do, if you are watching these, please give me a like. Please subscribe. Please comment and share and all that good stuff. If you're listening to these, please follow. Please leave me a review. Please like and whatever. That would be awesome. If you want to get in contact with me, all my contact information will be in the show notes. I will link a couple of my YouTube videos in the show notes as well, what I think that may give more context on this episode. But yeah, all my details will be in the show notes or the description of this video. But that's it for me tonight. This has been episode 8 of Rareeddie1 Talks podcast. I've been your host, Rareeddie1. Keep it strange, keep it weird, but more importantly, keep it filthy fucking naughty, you filthy lot. I will see you next week. Peace.